Very simple brand name, Lily's. Everybody can spell it. Easy to say. There's no pronunciation issues. And it tells a good story because there's a 7-year-old girl with brain cancer, and this is her chocolate. Hello and welcome to the Speaker Salon. I am Alana Newman, and the brand of the week that we're going to be discussing is Lily's chocolate. I am exploring a content strategy where each week I'm going to be talking about a different brand that I think has done a good job, has told their story well, and stands for things that people are probably interested in supporting, and they've done a good job with packaging and aesthetics, and obviously good founders too. And I stumbled upon this brand through word of mouth. I was as a caretaker of someone who had pretty serious mental health troubles, which stems from metabolic troubles, I discovered that sugar causes inflammation of the brain. And this family member needed to be put on a sugar-free diet immediately. The trouble most people have with changing to a sugar-free diet is their love of sweets, especially chocolate. It's too much to ask them to give up sweets. And so in order to make this transition, you have to find a product that can satisfy those sweet cravings, but not cause inflammation like sugar does. And so that's when a friend, a health coach, turned us on to Lily's. So I'll read the back. It says ingredients include unsweetened chocolate, erythritol, chicory root fiber, cocoa butter, cocoa, blend of palm kernel and palm oils containing 2% or less of sea salt, lectin, stevia extract, natural flavor. And then boom, that's it. It has 12 grams of carbs per serving, 34 grams of carbs for a whole bar. So we were on a 20 grams of carbs per day limit for serious mental illness. So we couldn't have a whole bar, but he could have half a bar. So it has 0 grams of sugar and vitamin D, calcium, iron, and potassium. So it was not something you could just eat as much as you want, but you could eat a half a bar, and that was your limit for the day if you have a very serious health condition. So for diabetics, this is a really great solution. For people with schizophrenia, bipolar, other things, this could be a solution while you're healing your metabolism. Now, the founder is a woman named Cynthia Tice. Cynthia Tice had a goal of eliminating sugar for her health. She was in the natural grocery space. She sold better for you food in a little grocery store as a young woman in Philadelphia. And she hit a milestone birthday. I don't know when that is. It's not on the website. But when she hit this birthday, she was like, I need to get rid of sugar. But she just could not let go of chocolate. So she tried to figure out a recipe where she could have chocolate. And she started using stevia. Now, stevia is a sweetener alternative. It does not increase glycemic index. It's 0-calorie. So it tastes sweet, but it doesn't have the bad health effects. And she also discovered erythritol, which is very common for diabetics, and allulose. Allulose is a 0-calorie sweetener. And it's what in the metabolic psychiatry movement, allulose is like the good one. And their chocolate is Fairtrade. So it's sourced in South America and Africa and these different places where it's all fair trade certified cacao sources, and it's non-GMO. So all the ingredients in here are non-GMO. So there's no genetically modified organisms or ingredients. And that means typically that there's also no pesticide use, because the reason that companies and farmers will use genetically modified organisms and breeds of plants is so that it can be doused with pesticides and herbicides. And so if it's non-GMO, that also means it's organic, meaning there's no pesticides and herbicides, which means you're less likely to get the big C and other gut microbiome issues. So that's why whenever I go to the store, I tell my kids, it's like, find the butterfly. If you can find the butterfly, then we're allowed to have it. Teaching my kids how to identify healthier food sources. So Cynthia, she came upon this recipe, and then she discovered, actually, this is really good. We should sell it. She teamed up with her business partner and friend, Chuck Ginoardi. And Chuck had a niece named Lily, hence the name Lily's Chocolate. Lily was 7 years old when she was diagnosed with brain cancer. And I don't know if you were aware of this, but there's a connection between brain cancer and sugar. Otto Warburg was a cancer researcher. We know about the Warburg effect, which there's a connection there. So those types of cells feed off of sugar. If you stop consuming sugar, then you basically starve the C cells from their glucose metabolism. So you're starving those cells when you deny the body sugar. So that's another reason to eliminate sugar. And Lily, this poor little girl with brain cancer, she went on a special diet, and they started selling these chocolates they started charitable giving immediately with Lily and her story, and they started using sales from the chocolate to fund children's cancer research and treatment. So even before the founders, Cynthia and Chuck, started taking a salary, they started donating to this type of research and cures. So they had a very mission-driven organization from the beginning, and still to this day, they are donating to this type of research and treatment. Their first big breakthrough, the first big retail venture, was when Whole Foods decided to become a distributor. So when Whole Foods teamed up with them, that's when national distribution started. And this was in the 2013-ish area. I'll double check on that, but that's when things got real. And since then, they've branched out. They've made baking chips, baking bars, peanut butter cups, coated nuts, popcorn. Now they're making gummies, sugar-free gummies. And in 2018, I believe, Hershey's bought them. So a lot of people don't like Hershey's, but Hershey's did not change their charitable giving. The recipes are still true to the sugar-free ethos, but they do have better distribution, and that's why you're seeing them on the shelves of Kroger and Safeway and all these big retail grocery chains. So erythritol, stevia, isomalt, they're all 0 calorie, 0 glycemic index. What Lily's does not contain, it does not contain maltitol, maltodextrin, or dextrose. Those are high glycemic index sugar alternatives, and if you see those, you should not consume them. And all the dairy is RBST free. Now, so they've got their story. They've got mission-driven origin story. Their founders are trustworthy because they use the products every day. They're conquering pretty serious health problems while not denying themselves the joys of life. So right there, that's a really good story. I want to show you the packaging. So this packaging is a little bit playful, like they've got fun shapes down here and some bold shapes, but the colors, this is not directed towards children. So these deep dark browns and these sage kind of earthy greens and this dark teal, this is an adult chocolate. So most adults are conscious about sugar. Diabetic, type 2 diabetes, adults know how important the sugar element is. So they are gearing themselves towards a adult audience, and they know to feature up and center all of the certifications of non-GMO and Fairtrade down here. So this big flag, no sugar added, that's the most important part. But I love the mature, clean packaging. White is for purity. So they're teaching us that there's a purity here. That dark teal is a color I use in my branding all the time. It's an intelligent color. It's calming. There's a peacefulness to it. There's an emotional intelligence to it. And that dark brown, the earthy browns, it's natural, says earthy, natural, stability. It's a calm color. And so I think that they did a really good job on the packaging. Very simple brand name, Lily's. Everybody can spell it. Easy to say. There's no pronunciation issues. And it tells a good story because there's a 7-year-old girl with brain cancer, and this is her chocolate. And so when you buy this chocolate, you know that you're helping kids with cancer. Great story. Wonderful story. And so I buy this chocolate. I don't eat any other chocolates. I mean, sometimes when I'm with my kids, they really like Mr. Beast chocolate because of his story. So we'll buy that because we don't have a serious health condition. So we can get away with a certain amount of sugar, but mostly we buy this. And they put their name on the bar. So that's more branding. If I break off a piece of this and I give it to you, the friend that I'm giving it to knows that it's Lily's. So they're putting their name everywhere. And it's just so good. The taste of this chocolate is absolutely competitive with any of the other big chocolate brands. I love it. And so this is going to be the brand of the week. I'm featuring it in my TikTok shop, in my showcase. So if you want to try it, I'll link to it down below. I think everybody should be trying to do a sugar-free lifestyle as a productivity hack, because one of the number one reasons people are not producing the income that they want in their life is because they can't function because of the health problems, especially in America. So people have depression, they have actual chronic illness, they don't have the energy that they want, they don't like the way they look, so they're not showing up at work or on camera because they don't like the way that they look. They think that they're overweight or something. They're inflamed and puffy, so they don't want to be on camera. And I'm telling you, if you go sugar-free, you will have fewer chronic health problems. Your face will be less puffy. Your face will be less broken out. You will be slimmer. And so I actually believe that products like this are just small choices that we make all the time that increase our productivity and increase our ability to show up in the world and share our products and services. So that's why I wanted to feature this as the first product of the week. You can still have joy and pleasure in your life. God is good and he wants you to have nice things. So this is all of the goodness without the bad stuff. And I just want to say, one last thing, find products that you're proud to share too. Find products that are in alignment, or build a product that is perfectly in alignment. And when you show up looking and feeling your best, everything else just falls into place. So you can buy the link below. And if you want help building your own brand, maybe you're a Cynthia Tice in the making, I would love to help you build your brand. So you can go to my brand therapy community down below, and I'd love to help you. All right.